It already feels like a distant memory, but it wasn't that long ago that people were proclaiming the death of Marvel Champions. After all, we went from November 17th of 2022 to April 6th of this year without having any of the news articles about the game that we had grown very accustomed to. And other than the Rogue and Gambit packs releasing in February, there was no official evidence that the game was still going. Now, I don't think anyone actually thought the game was truly over, but it is pretty crazy to think about how quickly and how much everything changed. After going 140 days with no news, in the 110 days since Next Evolution was revealed, we've had a campaign expansion and 3 hero packs announced, and a complete rules overhaul dropped into our laps. I'd say the game is as far from dead as could be. In fact, I'll go one better. Well, make that 4. My name's Josh, this is Get Up and Game, and here are 4 reasons why I think the second life of Marvel Champions will be even better than the first. Number 1, we've got Tony now. If you aren't someone who keeps up with the ins and outs of the business, you might not realize that we've had a pretty seismic shift in the design team of Marvel Champions. A little while back, one of the original lead designers of the game, Michael Boggs, amicably left Fantasy Flight Games, and a new co-lead designer named Tony Fanchi was moved into the role to work alongside Caleb Grace. This was in fact a large part of why there was such a delay in announcements, we've been told. Now, this could easily have been a cause for concern, as who knows what quality of work a new designer might bring to the game. After all, Boggs and Caleb were already doing amazing work. Well, thankfully, we already have evidence of exactly what kind of designer Tony is, because he's largely responsible for the Mojo Mania scenario pack. And not since Sinister Motives has a Marvel Champions product garnered so much praise. And rightly so. If you haven't played Mojo, I can't recommend it enough. There's a lot good to say about it, but for the sake of time, let me just focus on 2 key elements of this scenario pack that have me very excited for Tony's future scenario designs. The first is an emphasis on creativity and fun. When you fire up this pack, you'll immediately notice that Magog works quite a bit differently than other scenarios in this game. He brings a fun little mini game of getting ratings counters that you have to play, alongside the normal Champions formula of fighting the villain. And each villain has that kind of fun extra element that makes them even more interesting than what we're used to. And that emphasis on fun isn't just limited to the scenarios, as the 6 modular encounter sets included with the pack also feel very fresh and are very, very fun. The other part of Mojo that I was so pleased with, and I think is very important for the future health of the game, is the way the difficulty was balanced. When you play these scenarios on standard, they really aren't too tough. You should be able to bring just about any kind of deck and have a reasonable chance of success. But when you kick it up to expert mode, there's a significant increase in difficulty, and suddenly not only do you need to bring really solid decks to the table, you probably even need to factor in the quirks of the scenarios and build your decks around them a little bit. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in earlier scenarios, but there are definitely some that don't change much at all when going from standard to expert, and others change just maybe a little too much. Here, I feel like Tony nailed all 3, and it's so important in this game to be able to satisfy its incredibly diverse player base, ranging from folks who play casually on standard with precons, to the hardcore card gamers who min-max every deck they build and are seeking a real challenge. I think Mojo Mania offers an experience that everyone can find the fun they're looking for with, and that bodes very well for the scenarios in Next Evolution and beyond. The second reason I think the game is about to become better than ever is because we actually know how to play it now. With the somewhat recent release of the Rules Reference Guide 1.5, many of the most common questions that players often have about the game have received clarification. Along with that, we now have a much clearer timing structure and setup process. This rules document alone just makes the game better. One of the most common complaints I see people make against this game is that the rules are a mess, and there have even been contradictory rulings in the past. This is the type of thing that can really haunt a game and give it a bad name. Well, once again, we have Tony to thank for shoring up this weakness for us. Caleb has said in the past that he's not really a rules lawyer. I mean, no disrespect, he's my favorite game designer after all. But it's just not his focus. Well, thankfully, I think Tony is a more rules-focused player, so not only did he spend quite a bit of time writing up the new RRG for us, but with him there, I think we can expect to see fewer cards released that leave us wondering exactly how they're meant to work. I'm not saying it won't ever happen again. Accidents happen, and game designers are just people after all. But I do think there's going to be a greater focus on precision when it comes to writing the cards in the future. Clearer rules and more tightly written cards just leads to fewer questions, less frustration, and an overall happier player base. The third reason I think the best is still yet to come for Champions is that we have already glimpsed the future, and it is very bright. You only have to look at the slew of recent hero announcements to see that we are in for a very fun time once these X-Force heroes start dropping. In my opinion, every single hero shown so far looks incredibly interesting, powerful, and most importantly, fun. And when I look around on the internet, it seems it's not only me, as each announcement article has been met with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. Let's take a quick look at what's in store for the near future. First up is Cable, who introduces the very exciting new player side scheme mechanism. In fact, his whole shtick revolves around them, as while he starts off on the lower end of the curve with many of his cards seeming somewhat inefficient, every time another player's side scheme hits the victory display, his entire kit levels up. And with his ability to start with one in play, and the fact that he readies once a turn after clearing any side scheme, he's best positioned to take advantage of the brand new card type, meaning we as the players will get to immediately experience how cool this new type of gameplay is going to be. Next in Next Evolution is the very different Domino, who, unlike Cable, who starts out slow and builds to massive power over time, she comes out fast with her ability to boost just about every action she takes by 1, 2, or maybe even 3 by discarding the top card of her deck, meaning her actions will always be above the curve in efficiency right from the start, at the cost of churning through her deck very quickly. But don't let that scare you, because she also comes with a wide array of powers and pugs that will let her manipulate things in her favor, so that she isn't losing those cards, she's just putting them right where she can get them when she wants them. The first hero pack announced for the wave was Psylocke, who looks to possibly be the best hero for solo players ever. What she may lack in outright power is more than made up for in her level of control and consistency. With her access to a 3 thwart stat or a 3 attack, she can respond to any board state. Couple that with her natural ability to keep the villain confused every single turn if she wants to, and solo players will be able to enjoy alter ego play in a way they never quite have before. But the fun doesn't stop there. The minigame of flipping her Psi Energy weapons into the perfect configuration to maximize her events is going to be endlessly satisfying. And the fact that she can easily recycle psionic cards back into her deck means she'll always have access to powerful psionic allies. I dare you to reveal a non-elite minion. I dare you. Alongside Psylocke comes Angel, a hero whose power I was somewhat slow to appreciate. But after seeing the community's excitement for him, I quickly came around to the point where I've already made a whole video about how awesome he's going to be, so I'll link that in the description below and keep it brief here. Suffice it to say, with him being both a flipping hero and an aerial hero, means he has access to some of the most efficient deck building cards in the game. And trying to play every turn in a way that takes advantage of both his hero abilities makes every turn a fun puzzle. And the last hero we've had revealed as of the time of this recording is X-23. What does the X stand for? Explosive. Because Laura combines the explosive power of Captain America, being able to thwart or attack for 4 without playing a single card, with the explosive power of Quicksilver, huge stat boosts and easy readying, with the explosive power of a strong ally like Vivian, meaning X-23 combines the best parts of 3 really solid heroes into a victory machine. Seriously, if you like bludgeoning the villain to death with just your hero card alone, then Captain Quick Vision here is the hero for you. She and Gabby bring hack and slash mayhem to Marvel Champions in a way that's both a little familiar, but completely new, and somehow manages to feel completely different from Wolverine. And I haven't talked much about the deck building cards coming in these packs, but with X-23's pack revealing the specialized training side scheme that gives our heroes access to campaign quality upgrades outside of campaign mode, well, yeah! I was hoping to have the final hero in the wave, whoever that may be, as part of this video, but unfortunately they haven't been revealed yet, and I really want this to come out before Next Evolution, and at this point there's no guarantee they'll be revealed before that happens. But I have no doubt that whoever it could possibly be is going to be just as special as the other 5. And the fourth and final reason Champions' future will be even better than its past is the fact that we still haven't seen so many of Marvel's best and most popular characters as heroes. Surely the next wave will finally give us Nightcrawler, Iceman, and Beast. The Fantastic Four have yet to make an appearance in any capacity, and with them comes the Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom, and Galactus. Daredevil and the Punisher always sit near the top of people's most wanted lists, and no doubt will lead a wave of their own. Kingpin and Bullseye are fan-favorite villains sure to arrive in the same cycle. Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Blade, Winter Soldier, Falcon, Sharon Carter, Emma Frost, Elektra, Dr. Octopus, Yelena Belova, and I'm sure many others I've forgotten are all characters worthy of being featured in the game, meaning we still have years of exciting releases ahead of us. The future is very, very bright indeed. So there you have it. 4 reasons why I think the best game ever is only set to get even better. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you agree and are as hyped as me for the near and far-flung future of the game, or maybe you think it's peaked and the only things left to come will be mid at best. Be sure to share your thoughts, and while you're at it, please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you next time we get up in game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.